What's up, everybody? I hope y'all are having a great day. My name is Anthony, and today we are going to have some Beer Braised Beef. Let's get it. Alright, first things first, before we get started, I want to go ahead and give a shout out to my friend Steve over at Corsair Trainers. He hooked me up with this shirt. I really appreciate it. I expect you all to go check him out. I'm sure if you know my channel, you definitely know him, but I digress. The whole idea of this video is to add another weapon to your arsenal, another tool to your tool belt, so to speak. Because a lot of people don't understand or don't know how to cook at home anymore, and especially know how to make really good quality meals, big meals for the entire family. So we're not making burgers, we're not making something, from a box. We're going to make something that will actually give your whole family some sort of nutrition, and it doesn't cost very much money. So the first thing we need to do is we need to get our beef, our boneless chuck roast, and go ahead and take it out and let it rise to room temperature. Now that it's up to room temperature, we want to make sure we dry it. So we take our paper towel and we just pat dry this cut. Like so. Now we're going to take our meat and we're going to season it. Now when you have beef like this, you're going to want to make sure you salt it and pepper it pretty liberally. So don't be afraid to really coat it and rub it in. Now make sure you get the other side. Alright, now that we got our meat seasoned and ready to go, we're going to put that off to the side, and I'm going to go get the rest of the things for this. I have to go to the garden real quick, grab a few things, and then we'll come right back in here. So let's go. Alright, first we're going to get a sprig of rosemary. And a few sprigs of thyme. You have to apologize. I will have to apologize because the plant is coming out of being dormant for the winter, so it's looking pretty sparse. But it'll come back in a big way. Just wait. And finally, let's pull some carrots, shall we? Perfect. All right, so the other ingredients we're gonna have are carrots. 3 to 4 is fine. Tomato paste, chicken stock. I have some in the pantry, but I figured I would show y'all how to do it yourself using store-bought stuff. So boom, chicken stock, apple cider vinegar, bay leaves, about 4 to 6 cloves of garlic. Here's our thyme. Here's our rosemary. You can use dried. It's not a big deal. I got 1 onion. This is a yellow onion. You can use a sweet onion or whatever you want. Some celery. 4 stalks of celery is usually what I like to do. And some beer. I like to use a lager or a brown beer. So Yuengling works fine for me. I usually like to use Sam Adams Octoberfest, but I made a drink all that already, so can't really buy any more. Had to buy that. Let's go ahead and chop everything up. Alright, that's better. You don't have to cut anything into hardcore shapes. A rough chop on the onion. Make sure your carrots and your celery are about the same size. That way they cook evenly. And your garlic, just, chop it however much you like it. But let's go ahead and get that meat going. To do this, I'm going to use a 6-quart Lodge enameled Dutch oven. This is it right here. I'm going to put a link to this down below in my description. That way you can grab one yourself, but you don't need to have a Dutch oven. You need to have something that you can cook in an oven, because this is going to sear on the top of the stove and then we're going to put it in the oven. However, you don't even need all that. All this can be done in a crock pot. So if you have a big enough crock pot, go ahead and pull it out and you can do everything you need to do. However, there is one step that you cannot do in the crock pot, and that is sear the meat. I'm going to show you that now. Alright, the first step you need to do is you need to sear your meat. Now I like to use avocado oil in the bottom of the Dutch oven to do this. Obviously we're going to put this on a very high heat. Not all the way high, but about 8 or 9 on the 1 to 10 scale of my oven. Now avocado oil works for me because it is a high smoke point oil. It's not like olive oil. It's going to start smoking on you right around level 7. So we can actually use a good quality oil, since it does have, take high heat. And it's not going to impart any kind of weird flavors or off flavors on here. So what we need to do is we need to make sure we put our oil in here, get it heated up, and then we can drop in our meat. Here's the most important part. This is where all the flavor comes in. Right there. You're going to want to do this about 1.5 to 2 minutes per side. That way you can sear the meat to lock in the flavor. All those little brown bits at the bottom, that's where your flavor's at. The brown bits at the bottom of this pan are where going to be every bit of your flavor is going to come from. All right, now you're going to pull this out to rest on the side for a second while you put the rest of your stuff in. All right, now this part's going to go kind of fast. You just dump everything you cut in here. A 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar because it's going to deglaze all that goodness from the bottom of the Dutch oven. Give it a stir and look, all the goodness come off the bottom. That's where all the magic happens. Take your chicken stock and pour about half of it in here. Maybe a little bit more, we'll see. Alright, tomato paste. We're going to use about half the can because we need some acid to help us out here. Alright, now you got your rosemary. We're just going to take all the leaves off and throw them in there. And the thyme, we're just going to throw in. Now, if you have the opportunity to get a whole bay leaf, I highly suggest doing it. Unfortunately, all my dried season kit got these little crappy ones, so just a couple shakes. I prefer one whole bay leaf, but I forgot to grab one. And finally, what makes this taste the way it does is our beer. Don't worry, those of you guys with kids, the alcohol cooks off. So you're going to want to use the whole thing. Two bottles or one 24-ounce can. No big deal. What we're doing now is we're bringing this up to a slight simmer. Once it gets to a certain point, and like it is right now where you got a little bit of bubbles, we're going to put our meat right back on top. Just like that. Alright, it's at this point where we are going to preheat our oven to 325 degrees and cover this up and turn off the stove top and wait for the oven to preheat. When your oven has been preheated, you take the whole thing. That's why I like the enamel Dutch ovens, and pop it in there. Now this is going to go for about an hour and a half, just like it is. And about an hour and a half, we'll come back and show you what to do. Alright, we are about an hour and a half into this. Let's see what we look like. Alright, we're looking good. It's exactly what I want it to look like. If the water, I'd say the water level, but the fluid level drops substantially, you're going to want to add more chicken stock. The lid actually fits pretty good here, but I'm going to add just a little bit more stock because you see how much it's dropped just by cooking. So add a little bit more in there, and we're going to continue cooking this for another hour and a half to 2 hours. So right, here comes the moment of truth. 3.5 hours later. Would you look at that? That is exactly what we should be looking like. Oh, and it just falls apart. Fork tender. How do you like that? Perfect. Absolutely perfect. All right, there you have it. Super, super easy. One of those things where all you do is just combine a whole bunch of stuff and then put it in the oven and braise it for 3.5 hours. Other than that, really isn't that much skill involved. You can totally do this in the oven, or like I said, you can do it in the crock pot. Regardless, it's going to come out amazing. My wife even liked it, and she doesn't like anything. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please, if you did, give me that thumbs up. It really does help out my channel. Subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one, all right? Bye.